Hey everybody, Charles Calhoun, aka the Shade Tree Pro. Once again, my new mic hasn't come in. There was something wrong with it, so I did have to send it back. So you all have to bear with me for a moment when I, use my loud ass voice. So I'm going to do something here a little bit different. I'm going to talk about something a little bit different. I've got a YouTube of over 900 and some videos. I have my top-down swing system and philosophy. And listen, people, I top-down is not band-aids. It's an actual philosophy. It's an actual teaching philosophy. It actually has so many different moving parts. It has trigger moves. It has setup. It has the grip. It has everything. So what I like to do is this, because I like working with people. Now, if you happen to be a company out there, or you happen to be got a lot of followers and all that, and you really need some good content, some good golf instruction, something different, something to bring people to where it's, because people say, hey, I'm tired of doing the same things and not really getting any results. Well, I'm not doing stuff to be different. What I'm doing is based on years of research, the things that I've talked about, the greatness of the dead finger's grip, the anatomical ends, the head, the hands, the feet, my unit turn. And like I said, just like the dead finger's grip, once you understand the unit turn, it's the same turn day in and day out, whether you're chipping, putting, and whatever. I'm a big fan of Barstool Sports. That's one that I'm definitely, wanting to present an opportunity to. But if there's anybody out there who's looking for someone who give you some good content, obviously, that TV is not a problem for me. Far as one of the originals from the Golf Channel Big Break, and also one that I did for the Golf Channel was Golf for Inventors, where you created products, and the product that I won was the golf caddy, kind of like a little clothespin that you kind of put on the golf club to keep it from getting in the dew. Works well in those more of those eastern states, especially when you're coming out of the into the spring and those dewy mornings. But anyway, if you're looking to want to do something with the Shade Tree Pro, you're looking for somebody to provide some content for you, like I said, I'm going to lay it out how it is. But most importantly, at the end of the day, it's all about all of us making money together. And, there's people out there searching for good information. I mean, it's very, very difficult for me when I just give a single individual lesson, because I know I'm giving them good quality. There's no question about that. The proof is in the pudding there. But I just think I can reach a bigger audience with the things that I talk about, because they're so conducive to the way that our bodies naturally move. As I said, there's over 7 billion people in the world. Every single one of them has a dead finger, and they all work the same. There's not a golfer in the world that can hit a golf ball unless they get it up in the air and bring it back down to strike and then back up to finish. The top down just shows you so many simplicity. I mean, so much in simplicity to be able to do it. Because remember, people, what we're trying to do is improve that 90%, that 99%, if you want to say it, not that 1%. A professional golfer is going to do what he do. That's what it is. And that's why, unless you're teaching professionals, or you're trying to teach that high-level amateur to get to that next level, then you're going to condition him with some good information that is conducive to what the tour pros do. But you can't sit there and talk to a guy that's 75 years old and all he wants to do is be able to hit it a little straighter. It's going to be hard to talk to him about what the tour player does and why the tour player does this. Well, you know what, as I said before, and I'll say it again, the tour player holds the club in his hand, he looks down at the ball with his head and his feet touch the ground. So we all got those anatomical ends. So if you're looking for somebody who you want to do some content for you, you got to have a big audience, because if you're going to mess with the Shade Tree Pro, you got to come big or don't come at all. I mean, that's how we roll. I've spent years and years and years putting this together, and now it's time to explode this out into the world. And like I said, there's a lot of gold in those heels, especially under the shade tree, when you're sitting there trying to get that 99% to sit there and improve. I watch it day in and day out. I see it. And the simplicity of my top down is that it's not just a golf swing, because it could care less about golf. What it is simply how you move the body. No different if you're moving to grab something over here and take it and put it over here, because once you get the body moving, then all of a sudden it's just a matter of sitting here and letting the club contact with the ball. And there's just some unique things that I've learned and discovered over the years that allow you to do that in a more simplistic manner. Now, you all have seen me hit it left-handed, right-handed, cross-handed. I mean, those are not flukes, people. Those are just the simple fact is, and no matter what I do, the body is always going to move. I'm always going to be holding on to the club. And it doesn't matter if I swing it hard, I swing it fast. That's one of the reasons that I like to do my chip shots and my pitch shots, because the simple fact I'm still making the same motion. And like I said, I have made this thing so simple and how to do it, because the club comes up, it comes back down to strike. And all I do is let the swing go on. Upper body triggers the middle body to trigger the lower body to go, because in any good athletic motion, and that's one of the greatest things for top down, in any good athletic motion, if you lose your ankles, you're done, because now you at the mercy of hope and luck. And we ain't hoping and we ain't shooting for luck unless we putting. We'll take all the luck in the world when we're putting, because even the best stroke don't go in when we're putting. And putting's a whole different thing. And I kind of hold back on that putting, because that's where your money maker is. And I mean, anybody, you could be stupid and knock a putt in. But when it comes to this golf swing, what we're trying to do is we are trying to create a movement in a sense that allows us to hit a golf ball to a defined target on a consistent basis, day in and day out. It's not about how fast you swing or how hard you swing. It's your ability to be able to create a score. And you're not going to be able to create a score on a consistent basis if you're hitting it all over the planet. So top down teaches you sequences, because like I said, the golf swing's not hidden, but what the golf swing is a number of sequences. I know that they talk about the kinetic chain and all that. Well, that's only one sequence. But if you're thinking about how you dance, as I did videos before where I said you could be moving right here, but as a choreographer will show you, in the sense that the first move may be here to do there, regardless of what all this is doing. A sequence is how you defined it. So over the time, I have been able to define that the top-down sequence is the upper body, based on my three-body setup and system. The upper body triggers the middle body that triggers the lower body. And one of the most unique things about that is that throughout the traditional way of teaching golf and what it's talked about, they never talked about the upper body, middle body, and lower body. It's always been thought of as the upper body and just the lower body, simply because the simple fact is, as I said before, is that came from the medical field. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But the only thing that I say, when we get to learn more about how the body moves, and where technology is good to learn anatomical movements and how those movements are. And I don't disagree with people who do that. I disagree with the sequence in which it's being taught, because like I said, it's still not getting that handicap down where it should be. But the most important part that I understand about when you create these sequences, these flows, and all these different things, and the body, and we're getting stronger, it's just like a car. There's a reason that we don't build, Ford vehicles on the old Model T frames. If you're going to develop some more stronger bodies or whatever, you've got to take a different look at the framework. And that's one of the reasons, as an athlete, and a very good athlete, running back, all that, that's the reason that I created the three-body system, upper body, middle body, and lower body, because it allows me, number one, to create more understanding of the sequences, and number two, it gives me a better framework to be able to use my ankles. You got to use the ankles, people, and the only way that you can use the ankles properly is that the pressure has to go down into the ankles to be able to move the feet, or for the feet to be able to balance it, and they will move as according. And that's kind of like if you standing here and you move it in place or whatever. You got to learn how to get the value out of the ankles, and when you're jumping up and doing most of these things, there is no way in the world you're going to get the value out of your ankles, and then all of a sudden some part of the body has to find a way to compensate. So people, if there's somebody out there who like me to do some golf content for them, like I said, you got to be a big baller. You got to have people. You got to have followers. The only reason that one of the best reasons that my video or my philosophy is top down because I don't start at the bottom, baby. I done put 32 years here and to start at the top, and I like shit to spread. You know what I mean? I don't like it. It done grew enough. You know, we done grew this enough. Now it's time to get down and get around and do the things that we need to do. And you know how I do it, baby. This is Charles Calhoun, aka the Shade Tree Pro. If you know somebody, you want somebody, then all of a sudden all you got to do is take a look under the shade tree, because there's a lot of golden nuggets out there, and I'm the one pushing it. Oh man, like the old 49ers back in the day. The gold rush is coming. I'm that IPO. You better get on with it while it's hot right now, baby. Once again, Charles Calhoun, aka the Shade Tree Pro. You know how I do it, baby. Always good golf.